You are currently presiding over the most mismanaged, bleeding, and catastrophically disorganized wealth fund on the planet. And the tragic irony is that this failing enterprise is your own life. When the average person hears the word portfolio, their mind immediately snaps to the narrow, limited concepts of retail brokerage accounts, stock tickers, and the traditional accumulation of financial assets, completely blinding them to the terrifying reality that money is the absolute least important currency they are actively trading every single day. You wake up every single morning with a finite, fiercely non-renewable allocation of cognitive capital, raw biological energy, and absolute undivided focus. And yet, you consistently authorize the transfer of these priceless assets into platforms, people, and low-tier habits that yield a massive, undeniable negative return on your investment. If you were a hired fund manager, making these exact same trades with a high net worth client's capital, deliberately buying high into toxic drama, and selling low on your own strategic development, you would not just be fired in disgrace, you would be legally prosecuted for gross fiduciary negligence. The transition from a passive civilian mindset to a visionary sovereign CEO requires a brutal, uncompromising recognition that your entire existence is a live, high-stakes marketplace, and right now, your asset allocation is a critical liability. You have to stop viewing your time as a limitless commodity that you can afford to waste on endless digital consumption and start defending it with the cold, calculated ruthlessness of an institutional investor who is fiercely protecting their premier key accounts from external threats. Think about the intense mechanical precision and the high-level security protocols required when you are executing a request to transfer complete stock holdings between different brokerage platforms. You do not just blindly send those hard-earned assets into the void and hope they land safely. You meticulously verify the routing, you audit the receiving environment, and you ensure that the new ecosystem offers superior features, lower friction, and a mathematically higher probability of explosive geometric scaling. You must begin to apply this exact same ruthless, uncompromising scrutiny to where you deposit your daily energy and attention. Why are you continuing to invest your most vital creative force into environments, parasitic relationships, and professional roles that artificially cap your upside while actively draining your deepest reserves? You are trading your irreplaceable life force for linear pennies, aggressively propping up the architecture of someone else's empire, while your own personal treasury sits completely bankrupt and exposed to the elements. It is time to execute a massive, structural transfer of your internal assets, moving them out of the stagnant, low-yield accounts of your past and into the high-velocity, compounding matrix of your future. You must immediately and permanently divest from the crippling habits of hesitation, the paralyzing need for external validation from people who do not even understand your vision, and the comfortable anesthetizing routines that keep you tightly chained to the middle class of human potential. Instead, you must aggressively reallocate that liberated capital into the relentless acquisition of rare, high-leverage skills, the cultivation of an unbreakable, high-performance physical machine, and the construction of a psychological fortress that absolutely cannot be breached by the chaotic volatility of the external world. A true sovereign portfolio is not just about indiscriminately hoarding resources. It is about engineering a master life architecture where every single distinct component, your physical vitality, your financial independence, your intellectual depth, and your emotional resilience, acts as a compounding dividend, perpetually feeding, reinforcing, and expanding your overall power base. The elite operator does not compartmentalize their success because they understand with lethal clarity that a failure in physical discipline is an immediate leak in their financial pipeline, and a compromise in their mental diet is a direct frontal attack on their strategic execution capabilities. Everything is intimately connected on the grand ledger of your existence. You have to become violently obsessed with evaluating the investment strategies of your own daily routine, putting every single action on trial for its life. Ask yourself, right this exact second, with zero room for delusion or self-deception: is the activity I am engaged in right now a highly appreciating asset that is pulling me toward my ultimate vision, or is it a toxic liability actively destroying my future net worth? The amateur mind is utterly terrified of this level of accountability because it completely destroys the comforting, warm illusion that they are just a helpless victim of circumstance, waiting to be saved by a lucky break. But the visionary CEO craves this brutal, unvarnished audit, knowing that the exact moment you take absolute tyrannical ownership of your energetic ledger, you unlock the ability to generate infinite, unstoppable leverage in the real world. You must stop waiting for a savior, a miraculous promotion, or a sudden shift in the macroeconomic climate to inject capital into your life. You are the central bank of your own reality. You mint the currency of your own competence, and you dictate the exact value of your own existence by the standards you refuse to lower. Start treating your daily decisions like multi-million-dollar corporate acquisitions, where every choice is thoroughly vetted for its strategic impact on your long-term dominance. Fire the parasitic liabilities that are dragging down your quarterly performance, double down aggressively on your proven core competencies, and build an untouchable, sovereign fortress of compounding excellence that transcends the noise of the masses. The marketplace is a cold, calculated arena that is utterly indifferent to your excuses, your fatigue, and your past traumas, but it will always, without fail, bow to the undeniable, physical gravity of a perfectly managed life. Stop negotiating with your own potential. Stop shorting your own future. Finalize the ultimate acquisition of your highest self and own your path.